bad news for the European Union economy. Euro, the currency of Europe, is in free fall. Currency loses 10% of its value against the US dollar, and it's edging nearer parity, and that's a disaster for Europe. The euro is in total freefall after losing more than 10% of its value against the dollar, in a plunge that is sure to send recession alarm bells ringing throughout the European Union. Now we know that Germany, which is a top producer in Europe, is having problem producing. It's got no energy. Now, the bloc's single currency was as high as €1.1876 against the greenback almost a year ago on July 9th, 2021, according to the latest statistics from Bloomberg. But fast forward to today, and under the pressure, euro has plunged to as low as $1.0186. Basically, it's the same value as the dollar, and in danger of dipping below €1 to the dollar, which would prove to be an economic disaster for the European Union. In the past 6 months alone, the European single currency has fallen by more than 11 pennies to the euro, and over the past 4 weeks, it has plunged from a high of €1.07. Today, Wednesday, the euro has already dipped by 0.78% at the time of this writing of the article. They wrote alongside this, in case this news does not reach you for some reason, the euro has lost over 10% of its value against the dollar in the past year and is now approaching parity. Of course, the Europeans are not talking about this. Now, they just want people spending money as usual, what little they have left. But anyway, ask yourself, is it normal for you to not hear about this in the news? What would you expect to have done? Economic experts are painting a true dire picture for the Eurozone over the coming months. Because, I live in Athens, Greece, and even September you could take a beautiful bath in the sea. Even October, even early November, there are those who are winter swimmers because the sea, especially if it's shallow, it's not that cold. But as far as Europe is concerned, I remember I had gone to Liège at the beginning of September, and people were wearing winter coats at the beginning of September. It was worse than New York City. At least in New York City, we have beautiful Indian summers. So Europe is in dire straits as far as the energy is concerned, let alone their economy. Now, economic experts are painting a truly dire picture for the Eurozone over the coming months, with one warning: there is a possibility of the region slipping into economic decline in the third quarter. The manufacturing sector is already in decline for the first time in 2 years, while the service sector has taken a heavy blow as a result of the ongoing cost of living crisis sweeping throughout Europe. Chris Williamson, chief business economist at S&P Global Market Intelligence, said, "The sharp deterioration in the rate of growth of Eurozone business activity raises the risk of the region slipping into economic decline in the third quarter." I mean, that's just basically September, up to September. That's now. The June PMI reading is indicative of quarterly GDP growth moderating to just 0.2%, with forward-looking indicators such as the survey's new orders and business expectations gauges pointing to falling output in coming months. He said the manufacturing sector is already in decline for the first time in 2 years, and the service sector has suffered marked loss of growth momentum amid the cost of living crisis. Household spending on non-essential goods and services has come under particular pressure due to the soaring prices, but business spending and investment is also waning in response to the gloomier outlook and tightening financial conditions. And that's just now up to September, up to the end of August. What's going to happen the fourth quarter is going to be dismal. Last week, Eurostat, the statistical office of the EU, warned in a brief report that the euro area inflation is expected to jump to 8.6% in June, up from 8.1% in May, according to the flash estimate. And of course, that has to do mostly with energy for our houses, we don't even know. We can't budget what they're going to charge us in the next month as far as energy is concerned. And we don't use that much energy, and let alone gas for our cars, forget that. Every time you go to the pump, there's a new higher price. Now, the report said, looking at the main components of euro area inflation, energy is expected to have the highest annual rate in June, 41.9% compared to 39.1% in May, followed by food, alcohol, and tobacco, 8.9% compared to 7.5% in May. Non-energy industrial goods, 4.3% compared to 4.2% in May. And services, 3.4% compared with 3.5% in May. Like most major currencies around the world, the Eurozone economy has been battered over recent months as a result of Russia's conflict with Ukraine. This has seen inflation rates surge as hundreds of millions of people throughout the continent are now being faced to spend much more on everyday items than they previously had to. Soaring energy prices have further stoked inflation worries, sending the euro sinking on increasing recession concerns. So there you have it. It's going to be dismal this third quarter, and it's going to be a disaster, a catastrophe the fourth quarter. This is by Paul Withers of Express UK. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.